Hey everyone, Kyle once again. Welcome back to another movie review. Um, and today, for this one, this is a film this is a film that I only watched like I watched this once a long time ago, then recently watched it again, and I just I didn't see what it get my interest in this though. Although a long time ago when like one of my old VHS, I saw a preview for this film, and now I just this is a very boring film, very boring. And it's called Magic in the Water. Magic in the Water, released in 1995. Um, Stars Mark Harmon from Beyond the Poseidon Adventure, and also Peter Hyams' The Presidio, with starring Sean Connery. I like Mark Harmon in both those films. I do. And also starring the film, not too many actors that I know of, but a couple of them I do recognize. Well, Mark Harmon was one of them. A woman by the name of Harley Jane Kozak. I mostly remember her from Arachnophobia, which I really do enjoy. I enjoy Arachnophobia, and she played Jeff Daniels' wife in the film. I remember seeing her from Arachnophobia. Really do enjoy Arachnophobia. And then also starring Joshua Jackson when he was a kid. Joshua Jackson, who mostly remember him from starring the show Fringe, um, which is him right there. If you can see. Which really in the film, his name is Joshua. And that's pretty much for though. You know. Um, the thing about this film, like I said, it's boring. That's the best word I could describe this film. Boring. Very dull. You know, and it does drag on a bit. Well, not just a bit. It really does drag on. Maybe because when I was a kid, when I saw a preview for this film, maybe I got a little interest, because just the way how the film looked, But I look at the film now, you know. Thing is though, like I said, it's a okay. Just to describe what the film is about. Okay, you look at this cover here. It's like it's a creature that resembles like the Loch Ness monster, except it's in Canada. Now, okay, you look at this cover, you'll see the creature in the film, But that's the thing. You you do see a creature, but you see move through the water pretty much the entire film, and then by the end of the film, then you get its full appearance of it. So yeah, most of the time you see it go through the water. You see the surface of the water just move around, indicating that's where the creature is, until the film gets the full appearance of it. So yeah, so this cover is really the cover is really deceiving. you know. Even on the theoretical release poster, it shows our lead, the little girl, the character of Ashley, sitting on top of the creature's head named Orky. That's what the creature's name is, Orky. Sitting on Orky's head, if you look on the poster, Here, I'll show you. Oh, give me a second. There you go. So yeah. Yeah, see if you can see. shows her that she's sitting on top of the head of the creature. Even that's like false. That never happens. And this is nothing like the cover as well, or even the back when they see it from there. So that never happens. This is completely false, you know. It bothers me. It's a very boring flick. That's all I can say about it. Like I said, it was released in August 30th, 1995. It only made like $2 million. It opened like what, a number 16, you know, which is understandable. It has a 21% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it has a 5.8 IMDb. And to me, I think that's a bit too high, you know, close to being almost like a 6.0. Like really close to being a 6.0 for this film, this very boring film with barely no Orky in it at all. I think it's a bit too high. It deserves lower. And I'm just trying to figure about the director of this guy. It's also directed by Ray Stevenson. No, Rick Stevenson. Sorry. He hasn't done much. This was like the first film he directed. He hasn't directed films that that's pretty much not knowable, you know, at least to me. The other films that he directed are not knowable to me, you know. But yeah. Even Roger Ebert, he even said, you know, he criticized on the story and on the effects, you know, and even said that there's barely no Orky in this at all, you know. He's barely in the film at all, which I could definitely agree on, you know. So yeah, definitely agree on that. Okay, what is this film is about is that this Mark Harmon, he's a guy who's a workaholic who works on a radio station, you know. And oh, you get this, his character's name, the father's name is Jack Black. Get Jack Black, yeah. And he has the older son, played by Joshua Jackson, named Joshua, and a younger daughter named Ashley, who listens on to his show a lot, you know. And they were going on a trip to Canada, like the place that's known by the creature Orky, you know. And they're on a trip, you know. They have like a penthouse like that's on the beach, you know, and she wants to see if Orky is real, you know, and the father, he's too busy working, you know, like when they're trying to call him or asking him to do something, he's always on the phone, you know, doing stuff, you know, working, you know. Joshua doesn't want to believe it either, you know. There's also that's living like next door to them. There's an elderly, native guy, you know, in a wheelchair. Like I said, and that's I'm trying to remember the film as best I can because it was completely forgettable, you know, and I just saw it recently, not today though, but a couple days ago, and I'm already forgetting about it, you know. Just, you know, explains why, you know, just truly means that it's a forgettable film, you know. And I don't think hardly any people has ever talked about this film either, you know. But Orky, you know, there's like say that legends that he may be able to change forms like to a different animal or maybe even to a human, you know. And like one night, you know, like for the Ashley lays out some Oreos, you know, on at the end of the deck, you know. Excuse me. And then by the next, and she hears like a noise, you know, and then next day she goes and looks at the Oreos and the cream filling is gone. So the Orky knows how this is like, you look at this is a very big creature and it has like no hands, and it can somehow like just pull apart an Oreo and just eat the cream filling, without breaking the rest of the cookies, or something like that, So you can just magically eat the cream filling and just leave the rest of the cookies okay. So she's convinced that the monster is real, and she sees like more. You see like movements in the water, That's basically throughout the entire film. That's how you see Orky just like not full on appearance, but you see the surface of the water just moving around, or maybe even a shadow move through the water as well. And that's pretty much most of the time you see Orky. So when she overhears his father that her father that he didn't want to go on this trip in the first place, she decides to run away, and then she's like, no, see Orky's like there, but starts talking to she starts talking to it, and so she knows that she probably thinks that she can understand what he's saying, but you know whatever, So, but she goes into this tower, starts this wooden tower and starts climbing this ladder. The ladder starts to break, and um, the father, Mark Harmon, um, tries to report his daughter's missing, but then the dim-witted cop brings up a wrong child and even a dog, I don't get it. It wasn't that funny. But so he goes outside, goes for look for herself, and Orky takes him, to the spots where to that spot where the tower is, and as she falls, he catches her, but he gets like a minor concussion in the hospital, and then he gets like magically he starts hearing these noises in his head and these visions as well, um. And while all this is going on, you get of course on the other part of it, the other subplot, is there's these bad guys, that are dumping toxic barrels of toxic waste, into the water, and that's what one part that the father sees in a vision, but he doesn't believe all this is real, and also there's also she also kind of like well no, they meet what was the woman's called, Haley Jane Kozak, who's a psychiatrist, teaching all these about these other patients in a circle, who's like having some of the same similar problems that the father has, um and while that's going on, there's also a team as well, um of a Japanese team, but Joshua he thinks they're Chinese because he keeps calling them China, I mean, like, don't you see the flag patch on their clothes, which resembles the Japanese flag, but he still calls them China. I don't know. But they're there to study, to find Orchid and to study it, not capture it, just to study it, and then also when this happened, the father now wants to hang out with his kids. They build a sand castle. And they also digging this big hole in the sand as well. Start digging this big hole, and uh, what happens next? I'm pausing because I'm trying to figure out what happened next. Like I said, I'm forgetting what this film, what happens next. I don't think it doesn't matter. The film is forgettable, so I'll just skip some parts. If you any chance I've seen this film, you probably seen it and knows what I'm talking about though. But or maybe hardly people has ever talked about this film before, because I don't see hardly anybody talk about it. But still, um, so the follow they start digging this big hole in the sand. Then they say they think that something's not right because they see they see a boat out there. The kids they see a boat out there, and then one thing leads to another. They see that they get the old native guy, you know, to take him out to find this into the woods to find this totem pole, and the top of the totem pole has the head of Orky, you know, saying that what happened to their father, you know, has like, you know, he's like been like chosen, like all the other people have like seen the visions, you know, like as messengers trying to tell them what's going on, you know, about the people dumping the waste, you know. Um, so the kids and the Japanese kid named Hiro goes along with them. They find the bad guy's place, you know, and they figure indicate what they're trying to do, because they also find that they have like a mini sub, you know, but it's also like disguised as a fake sea monster that looks like Orky, you know, to tell the people that that Orky's really a hoax, so they continue to do their um waste dumping, you know. So the kids they get into the mini sub, you know, and the Joshua tries to drive it, you know, and I forget one thing happens, and then the thing starts to sink. Water's coming in, you know. It sinks to the bottom of the lake, or yeah, the lake, you know, and the father he's continuing digging into this big hole. He digs so far deep, you know. He actually he falls through, you know, into a secret cave, which then you get a part of the appearance of Orky, where the three kids are looking out the window and they see his eye, you know, and I guess he like lifts the sub and takes him to the secret cave where he's been living, you know, and they meet the father there, and that's where you get. It's like I was watching the clock, you know. It's over an hour and 20 minutes, you know, which you barely saw him at all, and this is where you get your full on appearance of Orky, you know. Over an hour and 20 minutes, here's where you get your full appearance of Orky, you know. Now when you fully see the appearance of Orky, the effects are not that bad. Okay, an actual no, not CG, you know, but okay, an actual, you know, big giant puppet of Orky, you know. I don't think it doesn't look that bad, you know, but it doesn't save the movie, because, you know, you start, because all that whole time, that scene where when he's fully seen is only 3 minutes long, you know. 3 minutes over an hour. I would say like over an hour and a half of film, you know, maybe like an hour 35, close to an hour 40 minutes, you know, or under an hour 40 minutes. Easily see fully on screen for just for 3 minutes total, you know, when he's barely in the film at all. The not bad looking effects of Orky does not save the film, you know. It's too, or as I say, it's called, it's too little, too late, you know. But they see this, they fully see him. They're amazed, no, but they see that that he's hurt because of all the toxic dumping, you know, and they were trying to tell him about that he was not feeling well because of the stuff that's been poisoning the water, and he's been poisoned as well, and he's like slowly dying, you know, and they think that he's died. Well, at first they think that he's dead because, you know, he just dropped dead, you know. So everyone on the surface, they throw down a rope, you know, and they get them out there, and the father tells them that there's nothing down there, nothing is down there, you know, no creature, no nothing, you know. So he keep on telling that there's nothing down there, but a porter and a cameraman, they want to go down there, but then the elderly native guy starts singing the chant, you know, that brings up a thunderstorm, strikes down on that place, you know, so they can't get in. Then magically makes the sand cover the hole and just be normal again, you know, just regular sand, no hole, nothing. So they know there was nothing they can do, you know, because he was dying anyway. That's what he was trying to tell them, you know. But Ashley and Hero, you know, they were gonna stay for the night. They sleep on the dock, you know, when she laid the Oreos down again, you know. By the next morning, the cream filling is gone. She goes, yay, you know. And that's that they know that he's alive, you know. So that's pretty much it, yeah. Other than that bad looking the full appearance of Orky, it's not a bad looking effect. I don't think that it's not a bad looking effect. I will give it that though, but that's it though. But that's not enough to save the movie because this was he only was fully on screen for that 3 minutes, and out of this whole entire like how long is this film? 101 minutes. So 101 minutes. That's like 90 minutes out of 10 minutes. Yeah, that's like an hour and 40 minutes. And on the screen time of that, you fully see him for 3 minutes, and that's it. He's barely in the film. The most time you think you see him, because you'll mostly see the surface of the water just move in, or you see a shadow moving through the water, you know. But not full appearance. Not even his head. This doesn't even happen. They don't even usually come to the surface looking like that, you know. Not even that, but just, you know. Like I said, this is a very deceiving looking cover. Even the poster, you know, was deceiving as well. You know, that doesn't happen. You know, there's other films. You know, the other films like based on that's like creatures like that, like Water Horse, or with the Water Horse, you know, Legend of the Deep. You know, I find that much more entertaining than this film. You know, I actually did not mind Water Horse. Yeah, where is it? The Water Horse, Legend of the Deep. Yeah, I find it much more. In fact, let me just do a comparison. There it is. Yeah, I would give more props to this because you fully see him. He's the main focus. He's the main focus of the film. You know. You see him when he first hatched, you know, when he was a baby, growing up to be this big monster, you know. He's the main focus of the story, you know. Compared to this, you barely see him at all, you know. And you compare it to this is much better, you know. You get well, yeah, you know. What was saying? You get much more appearance of this. You see him throughout the entire film. Fully on screen. You see him you see him throughout the entire film. This, you barely see it all, and this is very deceiving cover, you know. You only see him fully in that scene, that 3 minute scene in that underwater cave. So yeah. Which I agree with Roger Ebert, you know, when he said Orchid is barely in the film at all. I do 100% agree with that. Yeah, yeah, this is probably from this video. It's a rant, because what I was saying from the very beginning, it's a very boring film, very boring. It's dull, and it drags on, you know, because you want to keep on. I also kept on forward just to see when do you get to see him, you know, and not until the very end of the film. So yeah, and there's a review here on the front, you know, by Scotty Dugan, movie guide, and E.T. like fantasy for the family. Well, you compare it to E.T., he's the focus of the film. You see him throughout the entire film, fully on screen. When you see him at the end of the film, fully on screen, it's not like an E.T. at all, you know. When you barely show him, you know, at all, it's not like an E.T. film. Again, I would say this film is much more entertaining than this film. You see him throughout the entire film. You don't in this film. And what was the crew? Well, yeah, I think that was the name, Crusoe. Crusoe, yeah. I think the name Crusoe is much better than Orky, you know. Crusoe. Yeah, and it has much better casting as well, I would say, you know. But yeah, so this is my review for Magic in the Water. The only thing I would say, like I said, Mark Harmon. There was nothing to Mark Harmon, you know. Joshua Jackson, he was all right, you know. An early film with him before, you know, years before he gets well known on the show Fringe, you know. He was okay at best, but not much either. To the girl Ashley, okay, you know. But Mark Harmon, nothing to the character, nothing to the father character. The two lead kids, Joshua Jackson, and the girl named Sarah Wayne, okay at best, but it doesn't save the movie. Like I said, the effect of Orky is not that bad looking. The effects are not that bad looking, but still doesn't save the movie. The film was just way too boring, and this is what killed the movie. Yeah, barely no Orky, and way too boring as well. It just dragged on, dull, boring. That's what it is. This is the best way. I said last time. This is the best way to describe this film. Boring. Very, very boring. So that's my review for Magic in the Water. If anyone who's ever seen this film and like it, that's fine. I'm not gonna judge you for it, you know. I'm not gonna call names or anything. But to me, it's boring. And now, like I said, I don't probably think anybody on here has ever talked about this film anyway, because it's pretty much forgettable as well, you know. So yeah, this is a rant. So yeah, I don't know why I keep on saying that a lot. This is a habit, you know. But thanks for watching, and take care, and stay tuned on the next movie review later. And also, one last thing. Just avoid this and check this out. You know, you get much more entertainment from this film. It's just what I want to say by comparison, you know. But thanks for watching. Take care and stay tuned on the next movie review. Later.